It has honestly been so long since I felt good. I don't remember when. I'm 39 years old. I am a former mechanical engineer. I spent over a decade as a mechanical engineer. And in the meantime, I started my photography businesses. And now I currently run two photography businesses. One is a newborn business and one is a boudoir business. So sitting here in my newborn studio, just documenting where I'm at in this point of life. And I've spent years hiding, partially because I just didn't have the confidence to get in front of the camera. But now I don't want to hide anymore. I just want to document who I am, my life, my dreams, my ambitions, and everything else I've got going on. So I think it'll be interesting documenting all of this. So in terms of my health, that's the biggest thing right now. That's what I'm trying to fix. I wake up with my body hurting so bad. My feet hurt the worst, and then it's my knees, and it's my hips, and sometimes it's my hands and elbows too. It's just like all of my joints. I got diagnosed with SIBO back in, I think it was November. And then I went to the hospital with what may have been a mini stroke. I don't know. I do know I was tested. I had a blood test a couple days prior, and I had triglycerides that were 948, which is in like the stroke range, which is not good. It means I wasn't eating well and I wasn't taking care of my health. Since then, I've cleaned up my diet significantly, so my blood work numbers are a lot better. I did also have high blood pressure, and I was taking a natural supplement called Cartitone for that, and it helped. It helped significantly. But since I changed my diet and I started eating all carnivore and then carnivore with vegetables, my blood pressure numbers are good, and I don't have to take anything at all. So I'm within the healthy range. So that's awesome. Diet is everything, obviously. My stomach issues are a completely different story. I got diagnosed with hydrogen SIBO back in November. I can look up my numbers and everything, but I knew there was something wrong with my stomach. I didn't know what it was. It's some kind of gut issue, and it's not a common gut issue. So while I've been referred to go see a gastroenterologist numerous times, I know they're not going to do anything that's going to help me. So I signed up to work with a functional medicine doctor who did several different tests on me, and they also found H. pylori. So I've been working with them and doing natural things to help heal my gut, and going through different things with them. They are extremely expensive, and I haven't been a fan of so many things that have happened to me working with them. And I think I'm going to do like a video completely just on them and the issues that I've had with them, the things that I wish that they would do to improve their business, and then, like protocols on what I've done, what's helped, what hasn't helped, etc. A couple of things I've noticed is my stomach has gotten better to some extent. For working with them, I was on such a limited diet. I couldn't eat barely anything that would affect the gut. So obviously onions and garlic are two of the major big ones with SIBO. But I couldn't eat cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, mushrooms, and a bunch of other things. I was completely gluten-free. I've been gluten-free for years. I've been sugar-free for years. I've been off of caffeine for, honestly, as long as I can remember, but I think I stopped that when I was like 22. So it's been a good 17 years. And I am working on, like, past month or so, I was on carnivore, so all meat, and I don't really like meat. I was only on it because my health crashed to the point that I was severely fatigued. I couldn't walk upstairs. I couldn't walk to the mailbox. I couldn't take a shower without being so exhausted, and I've cried so much over that. Like, it hasn't been fun. And I empathize with anyone who's ever dealt with that level of fatigue. It's horrible. And then with my body pains, I am working on taking a medicine that my functional medicine doctor recommended and my general practitioner prescribed to me called LDN, which is low dose Nextratron, which is, I don't know if I said that right, which is commonly prescribed for drug addicts. And I've never been a drug addict. I don't do drugs. I don't even drink. I'm completely against all of that. This is solely for my body pains. So LDN, if you do a lot of research on it, does help with body pains and other things. It's not its main what it was invented for, I guess. But it does help with other things. So I'm taking it for the body pains. I've been on it for 2.5 months. I honestly haven't noticed a single difference with my body pains. In fact, like there's some days when I just feel god awful, like just worse. And I think a lot of it has to do with diet. So I'm keeping an extremely detailed spreadsheet on what I'm eating, when I'm eating, what supplements I'm eating, how many hours of sleep I get, what my anxiety levels are, what my depression levels are, all kinds of things. And I think that's part of the engineer brain in me that wants to document data and see, okay, this is where this is trending, see what we can fix and how it can improve your health, because it's just so overwhelming. I've dealt with a lot of health issues in my lifetime, but this one has me stumped because there's no answer to it. I don't know what I'm doing, and the people of Reddit don't know what they're doing, and we're all asking each other, okay, so how did this fix this? And every single one of us is different. Sorry, this is a dog. And a little, well, very much we're complicated. We have different health issues, different histories, and things like that. I've been through a lot of trauma in life, and I've dealt with it different ways. Like, obviously, two people raised in the same household are going to have two different experiences because we process things differently, we think differently, we feel differently. And people, especially when we're young, our parents treat us differently. Like, obviously, a parent in itself wants to treat all the kids the same, but we get treated differently. And I think that's something that both of my sisters, I've got two sisters, one slightly older, one slightly younger, they don't understand is that we all process things differently. And because of how I grew up, not believing in the religion or cult that I was raised in, I process things a lot differently, and I feel like my ongoing health issues are a result of that, are a consequence of it, unfortunately. It's definitely not something I wanted. To give you a little bit of history, in college, when I was going to college as a mechanical engineer, I would get up and I would go and walk and try to run up Kennesaw Mountain every single day. And I would go to class, and then I'd go to kickboxing class. And then after that, I started training Muay Thai, and then I started training Jiu-Jitsu. My life was full of activity. I During college, I was probably at the gym 6 hours a day, lifting weights and doing things and running. Always been active. I love mountain biking. I used to go mountain biking constantly with my friends. I have a sport bike. I love riding motorcycles in the mountains. I'm not a lazy person. I've always gotten up early and just started working and just was productive all throughout the day. I guess part of that productivity is a result of being half Japanese and half white and just wanting to get up and do things. That whole Asian culture of work is your worth is definitely something that is in me. So I've always gotten up and done things. And I'm not myself right now. I don't feel like me. I wake up and I just kind of lay in bed, and my whole body feels like it's sinking into the bed. and my joints hurt so bad. The LDN makes me sleep better, which is kind of cool. So I lay my head on the pillow and I go to sleep immediately. Whereas before I get anxiety and I'd overthink on all kinds of things. And now it's like, okay, I can just relax and go to sleep and not think about anything. My body just relaxes into it, which is awesome. I've never had that my whole life. I've always been an overthinker and constantly worried about everything, and that probably contributed to some of my gut issues. I will admit that. My guts always kind of felt like it was twisted, and I've always felt like I couldn't be myself in some form or another. I always felt like I had to change or whatever to be accepted by people. And so the anxieties always run high with me. But with LDN, I'm calmer and I feel more in control of my life. I don't feel like I'm drugged, which is cool. I mean, I don't want to be drugged. I don't want to feel like that. I did have a period of time back in Thanksgiving. This was long before LDN. I didn't start taking LDN until 2.5 months ago. So it's now July. So that would probably make it something like April. But back in Thanksgiving of last year in 2025, when I went to the hospital for, might have been a possible like mini stroke, something was neurologically wrong with me. I was not on any drugs. I was worried that someone had drugged me and I didn't know it. But after that, for months, I had these dizzy spells where I just felt high and I hadn't taken anything at all. And I'm like, it's like being on a ride that you don't want to be on. I want to be productive. I want to work on the computer. I want to work with my clients. I don't feel safe to do all those things when I'm feeling like something is neurologically going on. I honestly don't know what ended up helping with that. I still deal with somewhat dizzy spells, but they're not as bad as they were last year, thankfully. But yeah, I'm on this journey to try and figure out if what's going on with my body and hopefully narrow it down, and then maybe what I'm providing in the videos that I make will be of some use to someone else one day. That's all I want to do, is to help other people dealing with this kind of thing, because we're all human. We all live on this planet, and the more resources and knowledge that we share, the better it is for other people, especially those of us who don't have health insurance, who are spending a lot of money trying to figure out what's going on with their bodies. And even if you do have health insurance doesn't cover naturopathy, unfortunately. And doctors want to prescribe medicines. Medicines aren't the fix to a lot of these issues. They're cover ups, or they are attributing to the issues. Antibiotics in general cause SIBO a lot of times. So, you don't want to take an antibiotic for something else and then give yourself more gut issues. So, I'm trying to do this naturally. I'm trying to do this in a way that makes sense to me. And I'm working on figuring out right now, is this a vitamin deficiency, a nutrient deficiency? Is this still SIBO affecting me? I have no idea. But for those of you that are lost and looking for answers, let's see if we can figure this out together. So join me along on this journey, and hopefully we'll figure it out.